Hello and welcome to another episode of Punto How To. My name's Andy. I've been the maker of this channel now for more than 10 years, and this video is very different to all my other videos. This isn't actually a how-to video, but a bit of a history video as to what's been going on over the last few years, why I haven't been here, and what the future holds for the channel going forwards. Back in September 2021, we were coming out of COVID restrictions at that time. Everything was getting back to normal, and prior to that I had done quite a few videos because during COVID I'd been, I wouldn't say furloughed, but I was working from home a lot more. I also had a lot more time because a lot of my work couldn't be on site. So as a consequence I did make a lot more videos, but in 2021, because I work in healthcare, I had a lot of work on my plate and was getting back to normal, so I was doing a lot of travelling for work. And in September of 2021, I was driving home from work one day after a long day at work. The evenings were getting sort of darker and the nights were closing in. And just as it was getting dark, only a couple of miles from home, disaster struck. To be honest, the damage was not that bad. The car was making some horrible noises, but I was able to at least limp it home. Unfortunately, I now faced a dilemma. You see, this channel I run as a side hobby. I do have a passion for Fiat Puntos and Italian cars in general. I've owned just about every Fiat Punto model there's been since they came out in 1993. But my everyday car is a Volkswagen Golf Cabriolet. It's a 2-litre diesel that I bought new in 2015. And the Punto really was just a second car that I had bought in 2018, because at that time I was doing 100-mile-a-day commutes, upwards of 20,000 miles a year travelling. So as a consequence, the Punto was paid for out of my travel expenses, and was bought to try and reduce some of the wear and tear that I was putting on the car that at that time was only a couple of years old that I'd bought new. So I didn't need the Punto. And also in July of 2021, just a few months earlier, my wife and I had had some news which meant keeping the Punto would be an expensive hobby that I couldn't really afford to keep up. So the Punto had to go, and the suicidal Bambi couldn't have happened at a better time. I went to the insurance company following the accident. The insurance company said that the damage would cost about £1,400 to repair. With new parts and paint and everything else, they'd estimated £1,400. I'd only paid £1,500 for the car in 2018. So the insurance company gave me a choice. I could either choose to have them pay for the car to be repaired, or they would just pay out for the car in total and I could take the money and leave. And you can obviously guess how that decision went. Now, while the car was scrapped and it did go off to a scrapyard, it did actually find its way back onto the road again, at least for another year or so, as it did have an MOT again after I'd got rid of it. So it didn't completely go to be scrapped and broken for parts, but it probably has now subsequently been scrapped completely. So it's now 2 years later. My wife and I have just bought a new house. I've just started another channel, by the way, called House How To, so I'll put a link for that somewhere up here, and if you could click that and give me a subscribe over there, that would be great. The baby is now a full-blown toddler, and I need to get out of the house sometimes. I missed having a project car, and in recent weeks and months I've been trawling the internet for something interesting. I've been looking at a Fiat Coupe. Lovely older cars, but they have a sentimental meaning for me. I had been talking to a few other YouTubers who also have a lot of dealings with these sort of cars. I'd like you to check them out actually. As Auto Sportivo, an Italian car specialist based in Bedfordshire, Ant over there was very kind in offering me a coupe that they had, that they were planning to break, but they offered it to me before they were going to break it. Unfortunately, the timing for that car wasn't quite right, and with the house move and everything else, I couldn't commit to that one. And given that that car was worth more to him in parts than it was just selling it to me, I felt it was fair to just let him get on and break that car and not affect his business. I had also spoken to a chap called Neil, who runs a YouTube channel called Italia Autos, another Italian car specialist. I believe he's based up northwest. He's been very kind in sort of giving me advice and things, and in the future, hopefully, he's going to be able to help me source some parts that are a bit rare and difficult to find. So do check those out. I'll put links for them somewhere up here, and I'll put a link down in the description as well. So obviously, after looking around for many months, the house move was completed. I've been looking for the perfect coupe, so finally ready to pull the trigger on a new project car. Things didn't exactly go according to plan, and this channel is Punto How To. So keep watching, and I'll show you now the video I put together of going to collect my new project car. Good morning. It is 5:30 in the morning, and I'm currently on my way to the train station to pick up my train ticket. Then I'm going to be getting a train down to London as part one of my journey to go and pick up my new project car. Very sorry, it's a very dark and very foggy morning, so you probably can't see things very well on the camera at the moment. Just catching up on some YouTube videos during the journey. So after a quick nip round the Central Line on the London Underground, we are on to the next stage of our journey, which is Euston Station. So I am sat in Euston Station right now. I have just picked up a quick coffee, having something to eat. Got about half an hour to get my train up north. This is definitely the fastest I'm going to be moving today. Finally, and I have just picked up my brand new, to me, definitely not brand new, Mark 1 Fiat Punto Cabriolet. Very few of these cars on the road, mainly because they rust like anything, but this one seems to be largely without rust. It is by no means in good condition. This is an absolute dog. All the lacquer is peeling off the back here, off the sides. We've got a spider there. The roof is newish, but it's scabby and damaged in places. Back bumper's got chunks out of it. Wheels, I think, are off a newer Punto. It's missing the trim along the bottom of the door on the other side, and as you can see, the bonnet is peeling as well. On the inside, definitely not clean. See, the door handles are scabby. It's got a very 90s chic radio, which anyone of my era will definitely remember. The flip down front. Electric windows work, the roof works. It's got 94,000 miles on the clock. So now, before I head off, I'm going to get myself set up, and then I've got a 150, 160 mile journey home. Wish me luck. So I'm now back on the road again. I've just stopped very briefly to get some water and some screen wash from a motorway service station because I didn't have any screen wash in the car. Check the oil and water whilst I was at it, because I forgot to do that when I was stopped just after I picked the car up. I'm now on the M6 heading down from Manchester towards Birmingham. I then presume that, because I'm following sat-nav, but my presumption is that once I get as far as near Birmingham, I'll pick up the A14, go cross-country from there towards Cambridge, and then on home from there. So it isn't too bad a journey, it's just quite a trek, and very much so in an unknown little car like this. We can just about do 60 indicated on the clocks, but it is quite a push for it to reach that figure. So it is a little bit tired. It's supposed to be an 85 horsepower engine. It's supposed to be able to do 106 miles an hour according to the official figures from when it was new, but I very, very much doubt this would do much above 60, maybe 70 at a push, so it is struggling. It's only got 94,000 on the clock, so I suspect probably what it needs is a good service, and just make sure that everything is as good as it can be to get the most out of the engine, but it is a tired little engine, unfortunately. So a little while ago, as I was coming through the M6 toll, sat in the traffic beside a silver Rolls-Royce Wraith, so the two-door version, and although it was a very nice car, I can guarantee that this car is more rare than that is on the roads of Britain at the moment. In terms of actual cars driving on the roads, this is more rare. There might be lots of Punto Cabrios sat in people's garages or rotting in the driveways and so on and so forth, but there are very few of them on the road at the moment. This one being taxed and MOT'd and on the road makes it about as rare as a Punto Cabrio gets, and there's definitely more Rolls-Royce Wraiths than there are Punto Cabriolets right now. I'm about 70-ish miles into the journey so far. I've stopped and got something to eat. One of the problems with cars from the 90s is no cup holders, so I'm having to hold my drink in between my legs just to keep it from falling over. What do I think of this car after 70 miles of driving it? Well, probably after about 50 miles it has woken up a bit. It will now go above 60-70 miles an hour if you push it. I've not pushed it too hard. I would like to get home, but it has still got some go in it after 70 miles an hour. It's very shaky, very wobbly. There's a lot of scuttle shaking it constantly, which is a cabrio thing. There's probably some issues with maybe the wheels need balancing or something like that, because there's a lot of vibrations through the steering wheel. It accelerates like a barge that's fully loaded, coming out of the M6 toll, absolutely flat out. I just got to about 60 when the road turned back into 3 lanes, which is quite away from the actual toll plaza. Getting past some cars, like overtaking, can take planning ahead. When I say planning ahead, I mean you do need to at least plan a week in advance before you overtake somebody, because it's just so slow. If any car was to put its foot down whilst you're overtaking it, there's game over. You ain't gonna overtake it. It's quite an enjoyable ride so far. I wouldn't say it's the most comfortable car in the world, but it's keeping me comfortable, keeping me dry. We have had some rain en route, so that's been a bonus. I've not seen any leaks or drips anywhere, and generally the car is holding up at the moment, fingers crossed. We still have another 147 miles to go. So I'm on the A14 now, just coming towards Kettering. I'm about 100 miles from home. The car is still okay. It's rattly and shaky and loud, as you can probably hear. It's very difficult to hear yourself thinking here. A lot of road noise. A lot of wind noise from the roof. It would help if I shut the window, then it would be a little bit quieter. So this guy in the red Audi in front of me just gave me a massive thumbs up as he came past, so he obviously appreciates the old Punto. Don't know where the hazard light switch is. So I am just 2 miles from home. I bought this car on Facebook. Well, I agreed to buy this car on Facebook Marketplace, sight unseen. I got sent lots of photos, but you never really know what car you're getting from the photos. Sight unseen, I travelled up to Manchester this morning at 5 AM, near enough. Well, arrived in Manchester at just after 10, and it is now 4 PM in the afternoon, and I'm just a couple of miles from home. I'm massively impressed with this little car. It's not let me down. Batteries on my camera are about to die. Batteries on my microphone's about to die. But this little car has got me home, and we've not even hit the half tank level yet. We've gone just over a quarter of a tank of fuel, and it's done 250 miles. It's been a proper little trooper, so when I get home, I'm going to put my feet up, have a well-earned cup of tea, and then we can have a look around the car. And in the next video, we'll see what we got for our 650 quid that this car cost me. See you in the next one. And here's the proof that we made it home. The windows down and the roof down. All works as it should. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Give us a thumbs up, give us a like, leave a comment. We appreciate all your input on this channel, and we'll see you in the next video where we'll have a proper look around the car and see what's good and what's bad.